Greetings. We're so glad to have you with us today. We are excited. We have a dynamic show in place. Today, we are blessed to have the CEO of DeKalb County, Michael Thurmond, who's joining us today. Dr. Thurmond, thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you, Dr. Bear. I'm honored to be with you.
Well, I tell you, this is an exciting time in the life of the county. You have done so many things that have contributed to the success of the city. And what I've come to realize is that most people see you as the CEO, but they don't realize that you are a real living person who has an incredible sense of humor, has an incredible knack for telling stories. In fact, if you don't mind today, Mr. Thurmond, maybe take us back to your childhood. What was life like growing up?
Well, life was, it was interesting.
Sure.
As you know, I grew up near Athens, Georgia. I always tell people I grew up in Athens,
Yes.
but that's not true.
Right.
I grew up near Athens, Georgia,
Okay.
and you know what that means.
Right.
We grew up in the rural part of Clark County, near Athens, and my daddy was a sharecropper.
Really?
And we raised cotton, sure did. And I'm the youngest of 9 children.
Wow, that is amazing. So I'm sure that the whole family celebrates you as the icon of the family.
Well, yes, but you know, we celebrate my dad. He made it possible, and my mother. They were hard-working individuals, and you know, sent all us to school.
Sure.
And so, very proud of my background. I learned to appreciate life and have faith, and in hard work.
Wow.
And one thing about being a sharecropper is 2 things. Number one, they don't fear hard work.
Yes.
And they can take a little bit and do a whole lot.
Do a whole lot.
Yep.
Well, surely that's been your track record as you look at your professional career, having served not just the county, but the state of Georgia. And would you have ever guessed that God would have smiled on you the way that he has when you look at your career?
Well, you know, it's just through faith. And my mother always taught us to work hard and not to give up and always work towards your dreams.
Yes.
And that what counts most is not where you come from, but it's where you're going.
Where you're going.
And so many of our young people, as you know, maybe not in sharecropper shack, but they grow up and are born in tough neighborhoods.
Sure.
But you know, God don't make no junk.
Right.
And so I always emphasize to students that don't worry about where you come from. You just focus on the future, focus on the opportunities that await you.
When you reflect on your childhood, maybe share with us maybe something positive or something that was not so positive that really made a big impact on your life.
You know, one of my favorite books is Outliers, written
Yes.
by a young man named Malcolm Gladwell.
Yes.
And he looks at things that seem to be random
Yes.
or insignificant that have a tremendous impact on your life. And the thing that I think, just in terms of my career and education and ultimate success, my dad, who was illiterate, could not read and write.
Sure.
And my daughter graduated, got a master's degree from Harvard.
Wow.
And I said, think about it. Your grandfather couldn't read or write.
Amazing.
And you here on Harvard Yard in one generation. And out in the country, they said, won't he do it?
Won't he do it? Yes,
Won't
sir.
he do it? He'll do it. He'll do it every time.
Every time.
But what happened was, that was this elderly white gentleman who lived in the part of the county, and he was selling World Book encyclopedias.
Wow.
And so he came to my dad because he wanted to sell more in the African-American community. And Daddy knew everybody.
Sure.
Because he sharecropped cotton. He was also the vegetable man in Athens, Georgia. And he wanted Daddy to take him around to introduce him to various homes of African-Americans.
Yes.
And in exchange for his work, he gave Dad a set of World Book encyclopedias.
Wow. And I would just imagine that opened up your perspective on the world and
Everything. If you think in the late 50s, early 60s,
Sure.
that was just like getting a computer.
Wow.
It was
right.
like having a computer today, because that was, in fact, the computer at that time. And so what I would do, I would read each volume, each set, each alphabet, over and over and over, and try to memorize the information in each encyclopedia.
Sure.
A, B, C, D, and I would just pick one and start over. So from an intellectual perspective and appreciating learning and research, Daddy came to possession of that set of World Book encyclopedias, which I still have many of the copies in my library today.
Just hearing you share that makes me smile and laugh, because we as well had a set of Encyclopedia Britannicas, and the other day my son was asking me a question, and right away he goes to Google, and I share with him that in my day, our parents forced us to go look it up. So in fact, I made him do a report just to kind of
wonderful.
Yes, give him that old school flavor. What did you do to try to develop yourself as a leader, or even for your professional journey? How did you prepare yourself?
Well, it's both. You read, you study.
Sure.
And I've always, when the other little kids were playing Cowboys and Indians, my brothers and sisters,
Yes.
I always wanted to be a Georgia politician.
Okay.
That was the one thing I wanted to be when I grew up. And so you just prepare yourself for it. And the thing is, being successful, as you talked about it with leadership, the key to success is how you deal with failure.
Wow. Okay.
And you mentioned people, oh, Mike's the CEO. Most people don't know that I lost my first 2 campaigns.
Wow.
I was trying to get elected to the Georgia legislature from Athens, Georgia, trying to become the first African-American since Reconstruction, and I lost those first 2 campaigns. And the most difficult thing I did, and ultimately the thing that has made the difference, is I got myself up each time, and particularly for that 3rd race, because everybody had ridden me out. They said, there's no way you're going to beat this guy. He's a well-respected veteran white politician. We were in a majority white district. And sometimes you just had to soldier through. You had to follow your dreams.
Yes.
And I said last night to a group of people that if you have a vision, or if you believe you have one, and if everyone sees it,
right,
then it's not a vision.
Yes.
It's for you. It's not necessarily for everyone. So I had this vision of one day serving in the legislature and holding office and making a difference in the lives of others.
As you prepare for the next 10 years, what is your hope for DeKalb County? What is your hope for Atlanta, Georgia? What are some of the things that are on your bucket list that you really want to make sure that you fulfill in terms of being a leader in this day and time? What's on that list?
Well, I love DeKalb.
Yes.
And we have great people, great institutions, Greenforest being a cornerstone institution.
Thank you.
And let me just say this, I just want to celebrate you, and acknowledge the great work that you're doing at this cherished institution, not just for the members of Greenforest, but it means so much to DeKalb County, Metro Atlanta, and the state of Georgia.
Thank you.
Before DeKalb became DeKalb.
Yes, sir.
Greenforest sits there as a cornerstone to who we become. I have great hope, and I'm very optimistic about the future of our county. We're very diverse.
Yes.
We have great resources. Oftentimes we focus so much on the liabilities that we don't see the assets.
Wow. Okay.
Right? And the good book teaches you need to count your blessings.
Yes, sir.
And we have many blessings in DeKalb County. Great institutions, individuals of wealth and prominence, education, you name it, great transportation system. We just have to count the blessings, but what we have to do a better job is making the blessings count. Making
the blessings count. So what was something that you would love for every citizen to do? What are some small things that the citizens can do to make our county and make the city of Atlanta, the metropolitan area, a great place to be?
Well, help us maintain the quality of life in DeKalb County.
Okay.
We're putting a tremendous amount of resources into removing litter and bumping the curbs and mowing the roadways and trying to help the quality of life, to improve the quality of life for all of our citizens. We have a new public safety director. We're moving in the right direction. I'm just devastated with so many of our citizens are being maimed and murdered as a result of violence. We need to begin, Dr. King talked about nonviolence against those who were trying to discriminate. My big idea for 2018 is that we got to practice nonviolence with each other.
Oh, wow. Powerful, powerful.
Yeah, take that message that transformed America, transformed the world, and use nonviolent strategies within our own communities.
Wow.
That's my message for 2018.
2018. Well, I'll tell you what, we will help champion that message for you. My last question for today is you, obviously, to be in your position, you constantly have people who are around you, who are pulling at you. But I imagine that someone of your stature has to have a devout prayer life. What does that look like for those who are aspiring leaders, those who are currently in leadership? What nugget can they gain about your prayer life that can be beneficial for them today or even the days to come?
Well, I have a wife who keeps me centered and prayed up all the time. And not being too hard on yourself. Okay. Knowing that you're a human being and therefore you are not perfect.
Yes, sir.
And don't seek perfection, just seek to be better at what you do, and admit your shortcomings and seek forgiveness from the Lord and from others, and basically just treat people the way you like to be treated.
I'm sure that the preceding generations as well as the succeeding generations are excited about the work that you have done, but you've created an amazing legacy for the generations to come. We've been fortunate to have CEO Mike Thurmond. He has made an incredible impact, not just on our metropolitan area, but we know that great things are in store. We pray that you were inspired by something that was shared today, and we look forward to seeing you join us next time up close with Dr. Berry. God bless you.